Alright, and we're off. And it looks like World 4 is our first world. For anyone who has seen any of these matches from the tournament last year, these are the exact same flags for this race. They will be doing another race sometime in the next couple days, where they will use a different set of flags, but for right now, we're using the same from last year's tournament. And right off the bat, 8-1, and with a boss pass, no less. I mean, 8-2, I'm sorry. I saw the black background and got confused. Ooh, this is a bit... Rai taking the Sand of Shame. Ooh, and Antlerz takes an unfortunate death near the end of the level. Let's see if Rai can make the jump. Okay, he decides to go with the safer strat and get out of it. And Antlerz takes another death on the Piranha Plant. Oof. Alright, second level is 5-3. From a casual perspective, a good level. From a speedrunning perspective, not so much. So many... Oof, Antlerz taking another death on those Piranha Plants. They are not kind to him tonight. Oof, another death on the Piranha Plant. Rai got a star. I was going to say, thanks to the level being the way it is, boss pass up near the top for Antlerz isn't as bad, because it helps avoid dealing with the fish for a little bit. Alright, raikourider entering a mushroom house to get an item, and it's a fire flower. Pretty good for early on like this. And this is... I believe this is 6-6 that it turned into, which is one of the worst levels to have to deal with, typically. Especially with the randomizer. Oh, and Antlerz taking a death on the Fire Brother. And that's a game over on his end. Ooh. That's a little disappointing. Hopefully he'll be able to get through the 8-2 stage a little bit easier this time around. Oof, and Rai taking an unfortunate death near the end of that level. That's one of the worst areas to die at. Ooh. Okay, so Rai got a hammer for defeating the Hammer Brothers. Now, in this set of flags, hammers can break the locks in addition to the rocks. They cannot build bridges, but they are still pretty useful in trying to skip through certain areas. So, now, for those that don't know, who haven't seen the tournament from last year, what is randomized here are the enemies, the level locations, and power-ups are somewhat randomized. The end cards are also randomized, so, and I'm willing to bet raikourider will probably be using at least one card to see what he's got. Ooh, Antlerz taking a boot to the face. Not very safe. And another Fire Bro. And Rai takes a death in the level in 6-6 again. This seed is definitely not very nice to them. Okay, it looks like Antlerz is taking a quick death to reset his lives again. Okay, raikourider. Raikou managing to dodge the Cheep in the water. those bloopers, the baby shooting bloopers, are some of the worst enemies in these kind of levels. And it's disappointing to see so many in there, but now that raikourider's got firepower, it should help him a little bit better. Antlerz taking the Sand of Shame path again. Though at this point, I don't feel like this is Sand of Shame. I feel like this is Sand of Sanity, if nothing else. And he manages to get through the level this time pretty easily, so that's good. Rai losing his Fire Flower, but he's also right at the end of the level. Oh, and interestingly, he didn't go for the star at the end, it looks like. Anyone who's played this game probably knows that if you collect 5 of the same card, 3 of the same card in a row, you could get a certain number of lives added. Normally, in a speedrunning setting, you don't want to go for that, but in a randomizer, especially when you're having trouble like this, getting 5 lives early is definitely a benefit. Okay, so the next fort, the fort here is 7 Fort 1. Unfortunately, raikourider still has to go through the process to get a Tanuki suit in order to fly out, and Antlerz takes an unfortunate death with the Munchers. Oof. Okay, so now Rai's got what he needs to be able to fly out of the level. And Antlerz dying on the Spiny. Okay, it looks like he managed to take care of the Boom Boom pretty easily, which is good. And Antlerz made it down to the second half of 5-3, so that's definitely useful. Oh, and raikourider ends up in one of only 2 auto-scrollers in the game. The randomizer managed to take off the auto-scrolling factor in most of the levels. There are only 2 levels that they couldn't do so. One is 5-9, and the other is this level, which is one of 8 beta stages that were found in the game's code. The creator of the randomizer, Fred Coughlin, managed to clean up these levels and add them into the pool. But unfortunately, yeah, without a cloud, Rai has to go through this level, which I believe is about a 70-second auto-scroller. Let's see. And now Antlerz is entering 6-6. Let's see how well he handles that. Ooh, Rai taking a hit and losing his leaf. Okay, and Rai's out of the level. See, another unfortunate problem with this level, with 6-6, especially in a randomizer. Ooh, and he takes a death to the fireball. Not only is it dangerous because of the enemy placement, but normally all these enemies add a lot to the lag as well, which makes navigating even harder. So, oh, we got an angry... Oh, it's 7-8 with an angry sun for Rai. Okay. I wonder if he's going to go for the extra... If he's going to go into the secret pipe for the extra power-up. He's got a Fire Flower now, so maybe not. Oh. Taking a hit. And Antlerz is just trying to escape the bloopers. Okay, so Rai is taking the route for the extra power-up, which is a leaf. Normally it's a hammer suit, but right now a leaf is probably still just as good. And Antlerz takes another death in 6-6. Don, we don't know exactly how long this seed is. We just rolled it, or more specifically, I just rolled this about 10 minutes ago, a little more than 10 minutes ago, so we don't know how long it's going to take. And Antlerz takes another death, and that's another game over. Okay, see, Raikourider likes to make a remark about how he's not allowed to choose seeds because they can be bad like this. I think I might end up in the same boat. Okay, Antlerz decides to just use his hammer to break the lock for the World 4 castle instead of going through the first 3 levels again. This might be a smart move for him. Interesting to see both of them on a Boom Boom right now. Oh yes, this is definitely a rough seed. And I thought my first seed last night was bad. I honestly feel like this one is much worse now. But Antlerz is now dealing with the auto-scroller, so hopefully he can handle it. Okay, Rise in the first fortress, and I actually just... This is interesting. While he's waiting, Rai actually sent me a message saying I deal just as bad as he does. I don't blame him for that, but... Okay, so it looks like that was either a 3 or 4 hit Iggy. Yes, Fearless Decoy. This is the level most affectionately called Antlerz. That Antlerz is currently in, which... Oh, and he accidentally clips the jellyfish. Oh, that's a rough death. 5 hit. Thank you, Zero Wing. I miscounted. Thank you. Oh, and okay, Rai has a hammer, so now he can actually just bypass half of this world. Unfortunately for Antlerz, he's going to have to go through the entirety of it when he gets there, because he used his hammer here. And that's another death. Oof. And Raikourider, I believe, is in 6-5? Yeah, I believe that's 6-5 that he's in. So this is one of the other 2 levels in the game where you actually have to have a tail in order to finish the level. Alright, Rise out. Antlerz is... Honestly, Antlerz is doing pretty well for himself right now. And as I say that, he slips into the Munchers. Oh, commentator's curse right there. So Rai's currently in 3-3. Oh. Okay, for a second I wasn't sure if Antlerz was actually trying to go for intentional deaths or not right there. But it looks like he was just sitting there waiting for it to scroll. Oh yeah, this is definitely a cursed run right now. Like, man, I honestly did not expect the seed to go this bad, this fast. At least Antlerz was able to get a mushroom here, so hopefully he can finish this level. He'll definitely have to watch himself. Those Goombas are never going to be fun to deal with. And Rai is going through, and wow, Rai actually manages to plow through the end card pretty easily. And it looks like he got a hammer from one of the items in the card. So maybe he might go on for him more, but I also think I saw like frog suits and music boxes, so I'm not 100% sure how useful this might those end cards are going to be. Rai is currently in the World 1 airship. Right? Wait. Huh, and it's a one-hit Larry. Ooh, Antlerz has a hammer suit ready to go. That should be very helpful for him. Meanwhile, Rye is clearing out of World 2. Alright, so let's see how Antlerz handles 7-8. And he just lost his hammer suit. That's gonna be a little rough on him now. But oh, these plants are mean. Okay, he managed to get out. That's good. That's good. And Rye is entering 7-5 with the little Cheep trailing him. Oh, interesting. Antlerz is actually not going for the power-up. Ooh, and he misses his jump. If I remember correctly, I think the one with white or blonde hair I think that's Ludwig. Little baby bass. Yeah, that's a good little name for the Cheep. I have to give Antlerz a lot of credit though. He's for being able to dodge these fireballs, because this is not a good pattern for him to have to deal with. There he goes. Oh, and that mushroom. That's disappointing, because that could have really helped him out. So yeah, 7-5 here is pretty much a maze-type level. And Antlerz takes another game over. Oh, man. And unfortunately, Antlerz has to go through this auto-scroller yet again. Raikourider is in, I believe this is 5-5. And Rye manages to get through the pipe maze relatively easily. He's already on the final island, so this will be a pretty quick world for him. And safely dodges that last enemy near the end. That thing has claimed many a life from people just running through it blindly. And Antlerz manages to clear through the auto-scroller pretty easily this time around. And Raikourider is going through another end card. And evidently he's got these patterns memorized. Just like that, going through an entire card all in one go. Oh, I believe that's 3-7, and that's a boss bass, so definitely gonna need to be careful, because if you're down where he can catch you, that's a one-hit. Antlerz managing to get through the 4-1 stage. 5-7. Okay. Thank you, Macobra. Alright, Antlerz is in the 6-4-1, and Rye takes a quick death on the Air Force. And he's going straight into the Cloud Music Box strat, which you normally would see at the end of this world in a Warpless strat anyway, so interesting to see. And this looks like it's the World 2 airship, so Rye definitely made it through this world pretty quickly, so we'll see if Antlerz is able to do so when he gets there as well. and those boom boom hitboxes are always going to be trouble sometimes, can usually be some trouble. But Antlerz manages to get through, and now he's on his way to finishing his first castle, airship rather. Okay, so Rai had at least one hammer, so he's able to skip a few levels here. Oh, he's got many hammers. It looks like he's going to be able to skip almost the entire world. And Antlerz is now out of his first world. So, thankfully, he doesn't have to worry about all those problematic levels anymore. Rai running through 1-1, again with the boss pass AI of the Cheep Cheep. Okay, and the next airship is the World 6 airship. So, yeah, unfortunately, since Antlerz used his hammer on the one hammer he had available earlier, unfortunately that means he's not able to break the lock in World 1, so he's going to have to play through the extra 3 levels to get to the end. And that looked like it was a 2-hit Roy. It looks like the Koopa Kids are not that bad in terms of the number of hits, which I guess that's one consolation to the seed being as rough as it is. Antlerz clearing through and getting that quick one up. It looked like he was debating on whether or not to use the hammer suit right now, but probably for the best to hold on to it. Ooh, and that blooper comes in and snipes him. Okay, so he's just going to cloud over that. And he's got the 5-fort 1, the ground fort. Unfortunately, that power-up turned into an extra life. Because I feel like he's probably wishing that was at least a mushroom or something, but if he can get through this, that won't be... then it'll definitely help him, because not only will he not have to deal with 1-2, but that level he just had to deal with, but he'll also break the lock, meaning even if he game overs, he can just go straight to the next half. Out of the Koopalings, who is your favorite to fight? Personally, I prefer Wendy. She may be... Well, let me preface that by saying, if I have a Fire Flower. If I don't, then honestly I have to say Ludwig would be my favorite. Then again, that's also all assuming standard practice, not anything in this randomizer. Okay, Antlerz manages to clear out the boss pass for right now. Ooh, and how he did not get eaten right there, I will never know. Olé! Ooh, Boss Bass is not taking kindly to those last few hits. There we go. Okay, now Antlerz has his chance to try to get up there. And this is gonna be... There he goes. Okay, he manages to get up and out of there. Raikourider going through his level pretty easily. And Rai's going through another end card. I guess the promise of hammers definitely works out for him, especially given that he knows these. It seems he definitely knows these patterns like the back of his hand. So it definitely helps him out. And just like that, he goes through another card entirely. Antlerz passing through 3-3 without a problem. Oh, skipping the castle, yeah, skipping the fort. Interesting. Ooh. Well, thankfully he had that fire flower ready, and he gets a hammer, while Antlerz scores a music box. And it looks like Rai is just gonna go straight into the tower, skipping the coin ship altogether. Oh, and that's a disappointing power-up. Fun little fact, as Rai demonstrated, if you're Big Mario and you get a Starman, you can't actually jump up a vertical pipe like that until the star runs out. Antlerz going through the World 1 airship. Rai has used at least 3 hammers altogether that I can think off of the top of my head. Because he used the 2 in World 2, and he used 1 in World 1. And I know he still has at least another 1 or 2 in his inventory now. And there's another one he's using. And it's the, I believe that's 6-4-2. And it looks like he's going to go for the flying route. A little scary because, okay, he managed to, it looks like he's just gonna, he managed to get through the first part, which, that is rough because if you don't make it, like if you don't make it with your P speed, you're gonna die. But he's in and through. And Antlerz is now going through the pipe maze. That is correct, Don. You can only have 28 items, or 4 total rows. And then I believe once you hit past that number, I think it starts like clearing out some of them. I don't remember if it clears the previous ones out or if it just doesn't give it to you. I don't know 100%. But Rai is definitely one that tends to fill out his items as much as he can. And Antlerz takes a death from the little Cheep Cheep. Oh man. Okay, Rai just went through 7-9 and somehow managed to avoid the fire-spitting nippers. That thing... How he managed to actually avoid that and not get hit, I'm kind of surprised. And there's some runaway chain chomps. Rai will definitely have to be careful not to get in front of them. Antlerz doing a pretty good job of avoiding the Cheep Cheep and getting through. Let's just hope that his luck will keep strong with that. Rai managing to clear through 7-9 without too much of a fuss. Ooh, careful, swift dodge on Antler's part. And Rai going with a quick and easy P-wing for the fort, which looks like this is... I think this is World 4? Yeah, this is World 4's airship. And one hit Roy. Okay, wait. Yeah, that's Roy. Okay, it was Morton earlier. Never mind. It does... That's correct. And sometimes it's fun running through some of the... I think that's part of what I like about the randomizer is if you can get it set up, you can go through 1-1 and everything else with P-Wings, whereas normally you have to play through the entire game in order to have that ability. Now, Rise in World 6, which is his 7th world, let's see where this will go. He's got a hammer, so he can actually skip. He's actually able to skip 2 levels because of that. Antlerz managing to get through his level without too much trouble. Oh, and Rise actually going through the castle. I thought he had another hammer on him, unless he's choosing to conserve it. Which honestly wouldn't be a bad idea, because with World 8, you don't know how it's gonna go, and having an extra hammer ready to possibly break a lock if needed could be pretty helpful. Antlerz running through another of the lost levels. Hopefully he can make sure to avoid the last enemy, and he manages it. Good job, Antlerz. So here's another of the lost levels. This is a beta. It's hard to tell. It looks like it might be a beta of either, say, 7.3. I think it's a beta of 7.3 or something along those lines, or maybe 3.4. But aside from the lack 2, it's not really all that worrisome. Antlerz managing to clear the H jump. And he clears through without a problem. Meanwhile, Rai getting a P-Wing from the Sledge Brothers. And here's yet another lost or beta level. I believe this one is called by some of the runners the Floating Iceberg. And it looks almost like an ice version of 3-2. Oh, and Antlerz misses the jump on the airship, or the Air Force, rather. And rise through into, I believe this is what would be 5-8. They usually say, like, you can't get through this level without taking damage, but I don't know if the randomizer necessarily helps or hurt that claim, but Ryan managed to get through without taking a hit, so take that as you will. Meanwhile, Antlerz managing to clear out the Boom Boom, so Antlerz is on it. Despite the trouble Antlerz was having in the beginning, he's definitely doing really well now. He's definitely gotten into the groove for himself. Raikourider in, I believe this is I know it's a World 4 fortress. I don't know if that's the first one or the second one, though. Antlerz managing to pass through the Piranha level pretty easily. And the item was a frog suit. Rai did not get that because he skipped it with a music box. Ooh, quick little... Oh man, that quicksand is not very good. Ooh, Raikourider managing to dodge that Koopa at the end. And I think that... Okay, Antlerz managing to take care of Ludwig without too much trouble. A little questionable for that hitbox, but... Let's see. And here's another beta stage. This is a beta of 1.5. I think that makes like 5 beta stages so far we've seen. and Rai did not manage to take the tunnel, but still managing to get through the level pretty easily himself, while Antlerz is entering World 2. And thanks to him having a hammer, he is able to skip through at least 3 levels. Okay, here's the other World 4 fortress. I believe this is the first fort for World 4, so the other one then must be the second. Antlerz running through... I think that is 7-3. Maybe not. I don't know. Some of these levels definitely look similar, so it's hard. And I haven't played the game vanilla in a good little while. Rai using a quick little P-wing to make this next fort this next one easier, and it's the World 7 airship, so I do not blame him for that at all. Meanwhile, Antlerz is handling the, I believe that is 4. I think that's 3, 4? No. I honestly cannot remember which one that is. Ooh, and he takes a hit trying to get to the last one, so he's not going to be able to use go for the clip. Antlerz... Okay, Antlerz managed to take care of the Hammer Brother, and get a Fire Flower as well. So... I don't know, Garion. I don't think that was 3-1, because 3-1... Actually, no. Yeah, you're right. I think that was 3-1. I was thinking there was usually a blooper near the end for that, but then I remembered this is randomized, so... Okay, Antlerz getting a music box for that that Hammer Bro, and going into a Mushroom House to get another item. And it's a frog suit. Okay. Also, I just realized I believe this is actually the vanilla location for the army that raikourider is currently in. I think I saw maybe one other vanilla spot, but other than this and that other one, we've been pretty good with this. And Rai gets a hammer for his trouble here, which, again, can be pretty useful depending on the situation if it's needed. And it's not needed at all. Ooh. He got the God Pipe, essentially. Unfortunately, he has to go through 643, the Carpet Fort. But, despite that, at least World 8 is a quick run, so... Now he's just got to wait for the door to drop, and he's all set. There he goes. Oh, Antlerz, you almost gave me a heart attack right there with that jump. Oh, and he takes a death on the flames. And Rai is getting himself ready for the final run-through, which... Oh, interesting. Rai actually doesn't have a hammer suit or fire flower for this. Oh, definitely risky, because in Randomizer, the odds of those turning into a hot foot are very common, because the enemies are usually set castle enemies to castle enemies, and so running into a hot foot that way is pretty common. So he got definitely lucky that it was 2 dry bones and a boo. Alright, going through the Effing Man clip, and Rai is just one more room away from fighting Bowser. No quick kill, unfortunately, but as long as he keeps mind of the fact that Bowser's hitbox is only in his head, he should be pretty clear for this level to finish this game. Antlerz managing to finish through his 4th airship. Oh. And there he goes. Alright, everybody, get your GGs up in the chat for raikourider, finishing with an official SRL time of 41:18. And Antlerz is still going through. Let's switch to his audio. So Antlerz is going through. Oh, Antlerz takes an unfortunate death on that level. Let's see if we can get raikourider in here for. Let's see if we could get raikourider in here for an interview. Trying to figure out how to set this up. Alright, Antlerz is managing to avoid the Lakitu's projectiles for the most part. Took a little hit there, but not too bad. Ooh. Commentator's Curse is striking hard tonight. Okay, but he manages to get out. Yeah, Mikolosa, I'm sorry about that. Oh. Unfortunately, my dog outside is barking at a neighbor. Alright, he's managing to get in pretty easily. Alright, and it looks like Antlerz is taking the coin ship to get some extra coins. Not going for the extra life, but he will at least get an item, assuming he can survive these throws. Hey. Commentator's curse is something else. And another... Oof. Okay, so we managed to get the Hammer Brother taken care of this time around. Okay, and it looks like Antlerz... Okay, so Antlerz is still going on, but it looks like he decided to actually forfeit the race. So... Still, GG Antlerz. And at least you're still going even then, so good job, man. Well, okay, so since he's still actually playing, we'll let him unforfeit. We'll just unforfeit for now, so we can still hear it. We're still trying to get raikourider and Antlerz into the commentary in for a post-race interview, but we're having a few technical issues. Sorry for the delay. Okay, and Antlerz is going through 742, one of the most hated levels among the runners. Ooh, getting a star right there is definitely helpful because it helps him plow through some of these enemies. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it past that pipe, but with only one fire spitter, it's not as bad. Okay, let's try it. Let's see if going with the done again will work. Okay, so Antlerz managed to get through 742 without too much of a trouble. Okay, and he manages to actually get through that Hammer Brother without dying. Antlerz is going through the pyramid stage pretty easily, so hopefully I'm not screwing him up on that. Whoa, that was kind of odd. It looked like he went clean through that shell without getting hurt. Interesting. There we go, and now we have raikourider in for into the commentary. GG, raikourider.
Thanks. I retract my initial statement about this seed.
I am so sorry about that. After seeing what you and Antlerz had to go through, I was like, oh, this beats my seed from last night by a mile.
I'm just glad that I remembered to pack my 200-mile-an-hour tape because you needed it for the last 7 worlds of this seed.
Yeah. I have to say too, I'm very impressed at how well you've managed to memorize the patterns for the end cards.
The patterns for the cards are random. The second one, because if you move Mario within, I think it's 8 frames of gaining control of him, and the end card spawns 1 tile away from you on the map, you'll always get the same pattern. So you might have noticed that on the 3rd end card, I was actually trying to manipulate it to get the same pattern.
Right. Okay.
So what I actually do, I don't know if you caught on, but when I was doing my 2nd round of the end cards, you might have noticed that I was pausing from time to time. I actually write the patterns down.
Okay, so that's what that was about. Okay, that makes sense. All in all, GG, like, good job with that seed, especially with that rough start.
Yeah, I was afraid I was going to have to play catch up the entire time after taking 2 terrible deaths at the end of that water stage. Especially after I lost the Fire Flower, and that Fire Flower was the only Fire Flower I found the entire seed, and I never found a single hammer suit either.
Yeah, Antlerz managed to find 1 or 2. One of them I know was from a mushroom house in the first world that he actually went into.
I went into the first one. That's where I got my Fire Flower, but I ended up having to use my Fire Flower to try to get through 6-6.
Right.
What else was... Oh yeah, did you notice how I stopped at the end of that one level in the 2nd world? Because I saw I needed to end my timer on an odd number? Yeah,
I saw that. I was wondering why you had, like, paused. I didn't realize that it was for the timing reason.
I know, because I noticed that I had 55 on my coins and 5 as the tens digit of my score. So I needed to actually make sure to stop the timer on an odd number so that I wouldn't get a coin chip.
Right, okay.
And I tell you what, though, after that first world, I think this is actually a record for the biggest number of hammers that I've used in a Group 1 seed.
I know, yeah, like, I know someone had actually asked how many hammers you had used up until a certain point, and I couldn't actually tell, because I knew you used at least 3, and then, like, right after I had said that, you ended up using another one for the world 5 up in the air.
I can actually count them for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's either 5 or 6. And I think I had at least 2 hammers left over, too.
Wow. Smokey and the Bandit, if you're referring to raikourider, you didn't game over, right? You just used your cloud on a couple stages, right?
I made sure to and used as soon as I saw a bad stage. I think I saw I'm trying to remember what stage it was. I didn't take a game over. I'm just trying to remember what stage it was, but I know there was one stage in particular I saw where I was like, nope. There was one stage I noped out of for sure. I wasn't sure what the pathing through 8 was like. Otherwise, I would have actually hammered through some of the doors in World 6. But I figured that it wasn't terribly worth. I made sure and used as soon as I saw it wasn't terribly worth doing a. I'm trying to remember another. I didn't take a game over. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember what stage it was. But I know there was one stage in particular I saw where I was like, no. Oh right, the doors in 7 because they would only skip one fort. That's what I was trying to say for sure.
Ah, okay.
And I wasn't sure how how World 8 was going to be because otherwise I would have depending on the lock situation or the pipe situation rather, it's usually a pretty good idea to carry one hammer into World 8.
Right. It definitely helped that you got the hammer, another hammer, right at the start of World 8 as well. So.
Oh yeah, that was the thing too. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember what stage it was. But I know there was one stage in particular I saw. Absolutely, but yeah, this just 7 because for those of you who haven't seen my comment in IRC, and I wasn't.
Did not realize. Okay, never mind. Did not realize that music or the audio was doubling up from Antlerz. Oops. Sorry, everybody. That was my bad. Haven't been doing this a whole lot, so I'm not really too used to these controls.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. They can take some getting used to, but see. Okay, so Antlerz doesn't want to say anything. So I think, like, I don't really have a lot to say about the seed other than that I found it amusing that over 25% of my playtime was in World 1, and Worlds 2 through 5 combined took less time than World 1. I found that very amusing.
Right.
But yeah, But yeah, for anybody who isn't looking at IRC right now, I think my race comment was something like, if Classic doesn't sub 35 this seed, I quit.
Yeah, that's what you had said. At the same time, however, with how that thing started, if Classic doesn't punch me in the face for this seed, I will be surprised.
The rest of the seed is super free though.
I feel like that's how it usually tends to be with those kind of seeds. When it ends up, like when it just knocks you down and obliterates you at the start, then it just becomes easy pickings afterwards. Because all the big and hard stuff is, like, front-loaded.
I mean, there were a lot of really brutal stages at the start. You had 8-2, you had 6-6, you had Atlantis, you had... Like, I think every single one of the first 5 stages was really ugly.
Right.
And that, because it was like 7-8 as well was in there, which even though the randomizer makes that stage easier than vanilla usually, it still wasn't easy. Oh, and that 7-9, that maze stage, that 7-9, that might be the worst I've ever seen that level.
How you did not get hit by that fire nipper right at the start, I do not understand. Like... I am amazed that you were able to run past that without getting hit.
Well, all I was doing is I was just holding right and running, because that's what you do at the start of every level.
True.
But in any case, I really don't have a lot more to say about this. Plus, there's going to be a race that I'm going to be on mic for, so if everybody likes my voice, I think it's at this channel that the race is taking place on. I can double check it. We'll just need to see. Yes, right. It is actually right here on Speed Gaming 3 in about 20 minutes. So if you like hearing more of me, you'll get to.
Right. So with that said, everyone, thank you guys for watching. Come on back in about 20 minutes for another race. Antlerz, if you're still watching, good luck with your future races. I hope you manage to get a little bit better luck on the seeds than what you had today. So, but with that said, everyone, we're gonna hop out for right now. So with that said, we're gonna go. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.